Hey guys, this is Jared. The HTC 10 is here and HTC's made some pretty awesome improvements over previous iterations, so let's take a look at why you should consider buying one. First off, the 10 looks dope. It's still rocking that almost unmatchable build quality and design, which feels amazing when you go to grab it first thing in the morning while it's still cold to the touch. And they've knurled the power button, making it ridiculously easy to identify while in your pocket or in the dark. It's also just fun to fidget with when you're bored. And let's not forget about those new heavily chamfered edges. So cool. The new boom sound isn't anything like it was in previous generations, so gone are the industry-leading dual front-facing stereo speakers. And instead, we've got a separate tweeter and woofer design with dedicated amps for each. And while it might not have that boom anymore, it still sounds miles better than any mono speaker setup out there. And pair that with a built-in 24-bit DAC and some headphones, and the HTC 10's audio game is still pretty strong. The display's been given an upgrade to a 5.2-inch QHD Super LCD display, which produces surprisingly punchy colors, and of course, those super sharp lines. And if you didn't like HTC Sense before, I'd be surprised if you weren't at least satisfied now, as it's pretty obvious HTC is taking great care in preventing things from feeling and looking too busy. Many of the stock Sense apps have been replaced with Google apps, and many aspects of the UI have a very stock Android feel, such as the pull-down menu and settings menu, for example. Now on the spec sheet, the 10 is right up there with Qualcomm's new Snapdragon 820 and 4 gigs of RAM. So far it's been really snappy when doing things like just navigating around the UI as well as launching apps and opening folders. And I'm sure part of that's due to HTC's displays constantly having some of the best response times in the industry. It almost feels like it detects your finger before you even touch the screen. And the fingerprint reader on this son of a bitch is very fast and extremely accurate. I still have more testing to do before my final review, but at this moment, it's probably the fastest fingerprint reader I've tried on any phone so far. I'm very impressed. Now, I'd love to give you a solid description of the built-in 3000 mAh battery performance, but I just haven't tested that for quite as long as I'd like yet. But so far, it seems to be a pretty solid day-to-day performer. Storage on the 10 thankfully isn't limited to the 32 or 64 gigabyte variants available, thanks to its expandable microSD card tray, which supports Android's new adoptable storage, otherwise known as Flex Storage, which essentially lets you add your SD card storage size to the phone's internal storage, creating an even larger internal storage capacity versus having the two separate, which is beyond awesome. So HTC's appeared to have finally gotten the camera aspect right, with a rear 12 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, laser autofocus, and an f1.8 aperture. And if you pair those with the camera sensor's larger pixel size, we should, and the keyword there is should, provide much better low light performance and give us some nice depth of field thanks to that fast aperture. And the front-facing 5 megapixel camera is pretty impressive too, with what I believe is the world's first ever front-facing selfie camera with optical image stabilization, which of course I'll have to spend some more time with. But how cool is it that a phone finally has OIS on both the front and back? Anyways, keep an eye out for my full review, but so far the HTC 10 stacking up to be a pretty damn impressive phone in my books. Anyways, if you liked the video, show me some love and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more. But thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.